She is the words that I can't find. How can the only thing that's killing me make me feel so alive?
Yeah, Jeff Peterson?
No, you're lovely.
The robot? Jeff Peterson, that's his name. Yeah.
You know, I did this movie called The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest, like the third movie.
Yeah, of course.
I look like him then, you know?
You were very kind of...
Now let's talk about the movie. How'd you enjoy the action scenes?
I love those fighting scenes. And we did a press conference the other day, and Guy Ritchie said he had to stop me, otherwise we would have so many dead people in the movie.
Yeah, actually, I was in LA 1.5 years ago, and I was having lots of meetings. I was supposed to meet Michael Costigan, Ridley's producer, and then just before the meeting, they told me that Ridley was going to come and that he wanted to see me. I was always wearing black at that time, but just that day I was wearing this bluish, like a Helmut Lang dress, trying to look a little bit more feminine and nice, you know? Yeah. And then I started to sweat, and I was like, oh no, this is, because I got really nervous. I don't really get nervous. I started to sweat like heavily, and I got those big marks, and I was like, no. And then Ridley came into the room.
Yeah. Were you, as a kid, what kind of kid were you? Were you athletic and active as a kid? Were you a good kid?
I was not a good kid, but I was athletic.
Yeah.
And then you look into that, and then...
Is it true that you have syphilis?
And then...
I have to check it online.
Guess what's in my box?
Naughty thoughts.
I think you'll have to be more specific.
Do you guys have these kinds of conversations before the movie begins or during the movie? In other words...
I desperately wanted to talk to him, and he was like, keep it to yourself.
Is that right?
Don't talk so much.
I don't like to talk too much.
And normally I don't talk so much. Honestly, when I did, The Guy with the Dragon Tattoo, and many films I've done, I most of the time kind of, stick to myself, and I sit in the corner drinking my coffee and not interact with people. So I don't know what happened to me on this one. I was way too talky and too light. Because I was not a good child, because I was kind of wild, and he...
What did you do as a wild kid in Iceland?
Well, I was jumping bungee jumps into the volcanoes. No, I was just out playing. We did.
Brad Pitt.
Excellent.
Actor.
How did you do in school? Did you get good grades or not good grades? Did you went to school?
But I'm not sure.
Neither am I.
No.
This was a good...
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Close the volcano.
Yeah, but remember those hot dogs we had?
So we have a Rooney and a Noomi.
I know, it's
Isn't
quite...
that crazy? It's just
Yeah, I know, it's quite confusing.
Yeah.
And okay, a funny story. I was doing the red carpet in London a couple of days ago for Prometheus.
Right.
And then there was like one photographer that was screaming, Rooney.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey.
Yeah.
I grew up in Iceland, so I lived there when I was a kid. And it was kind of weird to come back. My family lived just like an hour from where we shot those scenes.
Now, are they still there?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, great. So you had a chance to spend some time.
Oh, yeah, I went home to them over a weekend. I was so tired, though. They had a big barbecue, and I was like, I had one small piece of meat, and then I was like, I have to go and have a nap. And then I crashed, and I slept for 5 hours, and the party was over when I came down. They were like, what is Ridley Scott doing to you? So, yeah.
No, so that was the thing. So my stepdad started a school for me because he didn't want to put me in an Icelandic public school, but I was his worst student, so he kind of had to give up. He gave up that dream, and we moved back to Sweden, and he put me in a normal school.
Right.
Are you getting offered a lot of sort of tough girl roles? You seem to sort of have that kind of aura about you.
Yeah, but also weird enough, like some really different things, quite soft, sexy girls. And I was like, really? And I remember that I was just like, okay, yes, please God. Make him say yes, make it work out. I was like, where is he? Because I was in LA that weekend, and I heard a rumor that you were in LA, and I was like, can I go and see him? Because I just have to tell him that he just have to do it with me. For me, Michael is one of the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, with Noomi Rapace.
So.
Noomi Rapace, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
We'll be right back with Alan Jackson. Thank you so much.